Welcome back, everyone. In this lecture, I'm going to discuss how jump statement can be implemented in C programming using goto statement. Jump statement can also be implemented with the help of break and continue. This concept break of continue will be more suitable with the switch case and especially the three loops supported in C programming. So you will find the description of this video, I have implemented the jump statement using continue and break. That link will be given at the description of this video. Okay. So in this lecture, now I'm going to discuss about how to implement jump statement with the help of goto statement in C programming. So let's begin. Okay, to implement a goto statement in C programming, what we need to do, first of all, we need to use the goto keyword. Okay, goto keyword is the minimum requirement that we should use. Okay, so see what is the definition. It is saying that goto statement allows us to transfer the program control while executing of the program to the specified location, and location will be marked using a level. Okay, so goto will not going to work alone. Goto will take help from a level. A level is a name of an identifier. Okay, a level is a name of an identifier, the rules that we need to follow. So what is the goto? Suppose we normally use this kind of tricks while we're reading the books. We are using certain bookmarks, correct? Even though if I click on the content of the book, it will jump to that particular page when you're using through the PDF concept, correct? So these are what in the contents. These are actually nothing but they are the certain levels has been marked with certain page number. So whenever we click a particular content, suppose section 3.1, 2.4 from that contents of the page, it will be jumped to that particular page. Similar concept we can implement here with the help of goto statement. So goto need what? Goto need a level. How to give a level? Level is very easy to write, very easy to create in C programming. Just follow the rules of an identifier name. It should not be started with should not be started with a number. It can be alphanumeric, but always started with an alphabet. Okay, so here you can see in this particular syntax, I'm using the goto keyword and there is a one space. Be careful, there is one space, okay, after the goto and a particular level I'm using. So I'll instruct the compiler now, please go to that particular location which is marked with a level. So it will jump to the very next statement written after the particular level. Okay, so how is going to be written here? See, here I used goto and there is a space. This is the syntax of creating a goto statement in C programming. Go to a space and a particular name of a level. Okay, so when compiler encounters this particular line, okay, when compiler encounters this particular line, what it will do? It will jump to the location of the next statement written after level. So after level, there might be one statement or many statement, but there must be at least one statement minimum. Okay, so that it can jump to that particular statement and it can execute. Okay, so what is level? It is mentioned here. It is an identifier. So we need to follow the rules of creating identifier name in that case. When goto statement is encountered, the control of the program jumps to the particular level. Yes, and if we now look at in detail this particular page of this presentation, here it is mentioned that there are two types of goto actually. One is forward goto, another is backward goto. Here you can see it is mentioned backward goto and forward goto. Because if you ask someone from a part, suppose he's standing in certain location or certain position, and you telling him that go, then he'll ask, where should I go? Should I go in forward direction? Should I go in backward direction? If you tell you, please go to the market, I do not know where is the market. So I'll ask you that, should I go left side? Should I go right side? Definitely. So similar way in computer programming also, the goto, whenever we use goto, it can jump in the forward direction, it can jump in the backward direction as well. So here you can see in the forward goto, I'm writing goto level. So compiler will check where is the level has been mentioned. Compiler finds that level is present in the forward direction because our program always executed from top to bottom, line by line. It's never changed the flow of computer program execution. Okay, so now goto is encountered here. So what compiler will do? Program control. Immediately it will jump to the very next statement written after that level. So it is moving in forward direction. So this kind of jumps are called forward go to jump. So we also have a second way that we can write. We not only can move in forward direction, we can also move it in the backward direction. Okay, so now initially compiler start executing from this line. Compiler finds, okay, it is a name of an identifier here, a level. Compiler executes this line, then compiler encounters a go to statement. Okay, so what compiler will do now, from this statement, compiler will jump, that means program controller will jump the very next statement written after the level. So now see what it is doing here. It is moving the program control, shifting the program control in backward direction of program execution. Program execution is done from top to bottom, but here due to this go to, program control is going back in the backward direction, in opposite direction of program execution. So such go to is identified in C programming as backward go to. Okay, so now this is a perfect example here. You can see I have given a go to level over here, so it is going to the very next statement after the level, but there is a no level. Okay, there is a no level has been written. And another problem, if you look at carefully, whenever we say go to level, after that go to level statement, it is a statement, correct? So there must be an end of statement semicolon. But when you start the level should not have any semicolon. It should be has a colon instead of semicolon. Colon. Okay, we'll see this shortly, some examples so that you can understand this syntax. Okay, so what it is says that after the particular level, if we have no statement to write, then we can put a semicolon as a now statement. Else what will happen? If there is a no statement written after the level, it will be a compile time error. Okay, so now I hope you understand how GoTo need to be implemented in C programming, the syntax I have discussed, and what are the types of GoTo and what is the purpose. Suppose you want to jump to a particular location, you do not want to execute some lines of code based on certain condition, that we can also implement it using if and else. I'll provide the link of if else statement on the description as well of this video, so that you can understand the mechanism when to prefer GoTo, when to prefer if and else. If and else is not a jump statement; those are conditional statement. But GoTo is a jump statement. Okay. If and else, it is not executing certain piece of code based on certain condition. But GoTo doesn't have any condition. GoTo simply say, you instruct me, I'll go that particular location. What is come in between? Okay, what is come in between? You can see here what is come in between. This part will be completely ignored by the program control during execution. Okay, so now let's see a code of that. Okay, so here I have taken a simple example. This example is doing taking input. Okay, taking input some floating point numbers. Okay, so here I have declared this floating constants as a double. Okay, so double floating points, double data type, and number has been declared right now. It is not initialized. We have taken a value here, maximum input 100. It is a constant, so const keyword has been used, and another variable I is declared. Okay, so next we want to calculate what? We want to calculate the average of the numbers that we're going to give inputs. So more than one numbers we're going to give input. Fine. So maximum how many numbers we can give input? 100. So let us check. Here I have taken a loop. So you can also find the lectures of loop later in this playlist. Loop is normally we preferred so that a similar number of statement can be repeated for more number of execution. So I'm going to take input more than once. You can see the console output here. It's just printing this printf lines. Okay, and it is asking for the input. So I need to repeat these two steps. Okay, so this is the reason I'm using here loop. Okay, next. So here see, it is asking to enter a number and I'm entering a number. So I have entered a number 23. Then it will come in here to check if the number is less than 0.0. No, number is not less than 0.0. It is 23, is greater than 0.0. So if it is greater than 0.0, this if statement will not executed because this condition become false. So it will perform the addition. Okay, it will perform the addition. Sum equal to This is compound assignment statement, so it can be written like this also, sum plus number. So initially the value of sum is here, you can see 0.0. So what we are doing now, 0.0 is added with 23, has been entered to the console. So it save the value 23.0 here because it is double type. Okay. Next again loop will go up. Loop will go up. So it will continue with this input till I entered a negative number. So now you can see in the 10th line in the console, finally I have given an input a negative number. Okay. So now it is coming to this condition. It is checked here that -4 is less than 0.0. Yes, -4 is less than 0.0. So now it's become true. So if it is true, the statement written inside the if will be executed. So what I have written here, go to jump. So jump is a level and go to is a keyword. So go to instruct the program control, go to jump. So it will check the in forward direction. It found that yes, jump is here. So what it will do, this program control is immediately jump to the very next statement written after that particular level. It will jump here. So after jump here, what is it doing? It is just simply evaluating the average. Okay, simply evaluating the average. So here I has the value number of numbers that we have entered, total numbers we have entered. I have that particular value. So we are dividing the total sum by the number of inputs that we have given. Because the last input is a negative number, we are not going to consider it. Okay, it is a negative number, we are not going to consider it. So that's why -1 has been given here. All others numbers will be considered. So now we are using a precision value up to 2 decimal point. So you can see the output into the screen average up to 2 decimal point because of this precision value. I have also designed a separate lecture how this concept can be used with the printf, precision and width and other concept. I'll also provide the link of that particular video in this description of this lecture. Okay. So here we can discuss what? Here we have discussed the forward go to. This is forward go to. Because see, it is jump in the direction of program execution. It doesn't go into the opposite direction. It is going to the same direction of program execution. That's what it is called forward go to. Okay, so I hope you understand this. We'll also going to implement in the GDB compiler so that we can analyze the complete execution of go to statement. Okay, so now let's see a sample code in the compiler also, and then we'll come to this questions how to use forward and backward go to all together. Okay, so let's see some demonstration over here first. We'll use individually backward and forward all together. So let's declare a number here, and let's take input one by one. It will take some input. Okay, and here I'm using some if condition. If the number that I'm entering, if it is an even number, so what it will do, it will go to certain level. So let's give a level here back. So I'm writing a level here now back. So now here you can see after a level name I'm using a colon instead of semicolon, but after go to I'm using a semicolon because go to is a statement and it is not a statement, it's just a level, an identifying name. Okay, in C program every statement must be ended with semicolon. Okay, so now suppose that this number is what? This number is an even number that I have entered. So it will again back me for the input. So let's give a message over here. Enter a number. So now let's write it. Printf. The number is an odd number. Okay, so we can print the number here, else the number is an odd number. So let's print the number. Okay, now let's add few more lines inside the if. Okay, so let's print this here. Printf. The %d is an even number. And let's use a \n. And do not put we are following this because main is returning some value to the calling module operating system. So returning an integer. Okay, so let us analyze how will be discussed, see how it will be evaluated by the program control. Initially, it will be taken an input because this line number 5, just it will be marked, compiler will be put some bookmark over here so that later when you refer to that particular level, it can go back the particular line number. Okay, so it will take input. Suppose we given even number as input, so this condition will be true. So it will print this particular number and it will force you again to go back to take the input. So that means till you entering an even number, this program will continue through this go to statement. See here, entering a number, I'm entering an even number 4. Again, enter a number 6. Again 6. So till I enter even number, this is continuation of the execution. Why? Because after printing this particular line, compiler encounters a statement go to back. So what it will do? It will jump in the backward direction. Here back is not a keyword. Back is not a keyword. Do not get confused. I'm using here back so that you can understand the concept. It is a backward go to. You can use any other name here. So see here, I'm using any other name here. Let's stop the execution of the code before editing. Okay, and now instead of back, I'm writing input. It can be any name, any valid identifier name, correct? So now let's run this again. So what will happen? Unless I enter an odd number, this program will never stop. So let's see. So I'm entering an odd number now. First enter an even number. So it is continue again asking. I'm entering an odd number. Now it's print, it is an odd number, then it is stopped. Okay, very interesting concept that is there in C programming. This is an example of backward go to, because my program control is going the opposite direction of execution. So it is backward go to. How to remember it is forward and go to? Simple. If the level name is come before the name of the go to statement, it will be backward. You are using a level which is used before the name of go to statement, it will be backward. So now let's implement another code. We are going to discuss about the forward go to, how to do that. Now backward go to we don't require. So we are taking the input. Okay, and here I'm just writing okay, go to forward, semicolon should be there. There are certain logics are there, okay, but I am writing the level here, forward colon. Now see what will happen. Let's enter an even number. Earlier we found that unless I enter an odd number, this program is not terminating. So now let's enter an even number or odd number or whatever. Let's run this. Okay, it is asking for a number to be given input. So I'm given an input an even number. It prints it's an odd number. See what will happen here. Okay, what will happen? Here I have used a go to. Okay, here I have used a go to in line number 8. Just a minute. Yeah, line number 8 we have the go to. So we have given an input 20. Okay, we have given an input 20. 20 has been saved into the memory block of num because we pass the address of num here. This is ampersand, we also called address of operator. So when compiler encounters this forward, go to here. So it is look for where is the level forward. So immediately see what it will do. It will ignore the lines written between the go to statement and the level. So all such lines will be ignored. This is called jump. When you jump from one location to another location, the areas between these two locations we normally ignore. We are jumping. So here forward is there, printf now is going to be executed. Although output is not a concern here, I just want to discuss the forward go to. See what will happen in forward go to. number of statements that we have written between the go to statement and the level, they will be totally ignored by the program control during execution. Okay, this is forward go to. Okay, so now I hope you understand what is backward go to, what is forward go to. So now let's go back and let's see what left in go to statement. Okay, so in this example, what I did, I have put forward and backward go to all together. Let's see what it will do. Okay, so let's see this. So see, first of all, I have declared a variable num. Okay, a counter is also there, initialized to 0, and sum is also there, initialized to 0. So what I want to add the sum of few numbers that is going to be entered through this scanf. So I'm going to take input few numbers. So I'm not using any loop over here. I'm implementing the same concept with the go to. And at last, what I want the total sum of this particular inputs that I have given. So let's see how it will be work. Let's see the step-by-step process. At first, we have what? We have 3 variables. So let us have some memory blocks for 3 variables. Okay. Okay, this is the status. So it is a level. Okay, fine. Level 1. Next. Enter a number. Suppose I have entered a number 10. Okay, I have entered a number 10. Count plus plus. So count is become 1. Sum equal to sum plus num. So plus num. What is the value now? 10. Num is 10. So this input. Next, if count equal to 5, is count equal to 5? No, count is 1. So this condition is false. Else, it is saying go to backward. If it is the false, go to backward. So where is backward? So it will go back to the very next statement written after backward. So again, it will ask enter a number. So now suppose I am entering a number 5. So what is the value of num now? 5. Count plus plus, counts become 2, incremented by 1. Sum equal to sum plus num. So sum is 10, num is 5. So it's become 15. Okay. Second is checking count equal to 5. No, count is 2. So else go to backward. So it is going again in backward direction. Again, it is asking for an input. So now I'm given an input 3. So num value is 3. Count plus plus. So counts also become now 3. Sum equal to sum plus num. So let's add 3 with that. So it's become 18. Count equal to 5. No. Again backward go to. Again there is an input. Suppose now I given an input here 5. So it's become 5. Count plus plus. Counts become 4. Sum equal to sum plus num. What is num? Num is 5. So now it's become 23. Count equal to 5. No, count is 4. Here we can check. So it is false again. Go to backward. So again it will take input. So now I given input 2. So the value of num get updated to 2. Count plus plus, counts become here 5. And sum equal to sum plus num. So 2 will be added. The final result will be 25. Okay, the result will be 25 now. Now we are checking count equal to 5. Yes, here you can check. The value of count is 5. So 5 equal to 5, it's become true. It's become true. Then it is saying that go to forward. So compiler look for the level where is the forward. So it finds the level, the forward, it is going to the very next statement written after the forward level. So it will print this particular line, particular statement is going to print. The total is %d. We are printing the value of sum. What is the value of sum? 25. Okay. So what this program will do, it's ask for the input of 5 numbers without using any loop. When we reach the number of inputs, okay, we simply came out from this code and moving in forward direction. So this is backward and this is forward. Okay, so I hope you understand what is forward and backward go to and how can we mix them all together. Okay, so now let's proceed. Sorry, let's proceed to the next part. Okay, so very important point now, very interesting fact. We are using that go to is a very powerful technique here. It can move from any location to any location. It can be go in backward direction. It can be in forward direction. But if you look at the code readability, okay, if you look at the code readability is not easy here. Code understandability is become complex. At some point of time, it will jump in some location. From one point, it will jump another location. So it is very difficult when you mix many number of levels with the goto statement. Okay, here you can see in this code, I'm using altogether 3 levels. So sometimes the programmer is takes time to understand this piece of code, need to invest some time. Although we can implement the same mechanism, if you want to repeat some piece of statements in the previous code, here you can see we are repeating this piece of statements. Okay, this inputs we are repeating, correct? So we can use a loop instead of goto. Loop will be better. Loop will increase the code readability, code understandability. Understanding level will be simple if you use the loop. So we normally prefer implementing of this kind of statements through the loop, not the goto. So that's why there are some programming language doesn't support goto statement. There are some drawbacks also. The drawbacks identified by the developer of C++. Although C++ supports goto, but still the developer of C++, Brajan Stroopstra, has been noted down one drawback of goto statement is that the fact that goto can do anything. Yes, goto can do anything. It can make it program for infinite number of time. It can jump any location to any location, very powerful. So anything, so is exactly why you do not use. There's no restrictions. Okay, so this is the statement given by the Brajan Stroopstra, the developer of C++. Although C++ supports goto, Java also supports goto, but we suggest that never prefer this kind of statements while writing a big project, working in a large project. Okay, complex code you are implementing. If algorithm is complex, writing complex style of code, it will be difficult to understand that particular algorithm. Okay, so see this particular statement here. I have mentioned why this goto we not preferred with respect to this particular example. Okay, see the goto statement allows you to do bad stuff such as jump out of the scope. Okay, so see this is the scope belongs to this block. When you say go to 2, where it will go outside of the scope. But by that time, my loop is not completely evaluated. So in this example, when go to 2 gets executed, then program control jumps outside of the for loop. It is outside of the for loop scope. So that being said, goto can be useful sometimes, for example, to break from nested loops. It is useful, but we should not prefer that. We can use break statement instead of that. Okay, so there will be separate lecture how to use break statement for breakout from a loop. You'll find in the loop lectures. It will be there in the playlist. You'll get the link of this playlist, those video lectures of break and continue in the description of this video. Okay, so now let's discuss few important facts about the goto statement. It is saying that use goto carefully. As I told that it is going to make infinite. Okay, going to make infinite. So if you use a backward goto, it will be for the code infinite number of time. I have written the same code. Okay, I have written the same code. The number of 5 numbers going to be and some numbers going to be entered, and it will give me the sum of the numbers. But look at here, I have implemented it now using the backward goto. It is not forward goto. And there is no condition when to stop to take input. So it will go up again and again. Once this performing addition, it will go up again and again, because there is no condition when to break out from this. Okay, so we'll see in the compiler as well how this kind of statement can become infinite, especially for backward goto. Because forward will move in the forward direction of program control, so there is no chance of infinite for forward goto. So let's now implement a backward goto over here. Backward goto. Okay, and now let's just continue. Let's just mention here go to backward. So see, there is no condition when to terminate. It will simply ask the input infinite number of times, enter a number. enter a number. Okay, so it is continue asking. So give more input. So this is the problem with the goto. If you not take care it properly, okay, so it can be fall your program execution infinite. So how to rectify that? We need to put certain conditions. We should not write go to backward directly. We can put certain conditions. Suppose your requirement is entering 100 numbers. So you need to use a counter. You can see the video in some go in the backward directions, reverse back. So wherever the examples that I have put for the counter problem, you can see here also the counter problem. Let's go back to the, yes. So here you can see I'm using the counter concept here. Okay, counter concept. So it will control when to jump, when not to jump. If I reach my requirement, fulfill my requirement, 5 inputs, so move in forward directions. If I not fulfill my inputs, okay, it's less than 5, so go backward. Okay, so this is the first problem you should take care when you use the goto. It can be for infinite. Now let's see the next interesting fact. Okay, the next point is saying that goto is restricted. Restricted means you cannot use it anywhere. You cannot jump from any scope to any scope, any location to any location. There are some restrictions. What is the restrictions? It is saying that goto can be used within the same scope. I cannot jump in 2 different blocks. Okay, so look at this example here. Inside the main method, a variable is declared and then I am writing go to jump. But where is the jump level? Jump level is not inside the main. So if you look at carefully, jump is inside the function fun. But fun is a totally different scope than main. So what will be the error? Look at this. We get the error here. Level jump used but not defined. Here level jump is used. It is saying not defined. You might thought it is defined. It is here. No. Very careful. Goto cannot jump into different scopes. It should be within the same block. But you can use this level such as something like this. Let me show you. In the compiler, it will be easy to understand. Okay, let's have some value 10. Correct. Then I am saying now go to level. Okay, and here is some condition. If num is less than 5, and given the condition num is less than 5, and now I am writing here is the level. Okay, so now see in this particular code, level is written inside the if block, but if block is inside main, so it will be considered level and goto statement both under the same scope of main. They are not in different block. In the PPT, you can see in the presentation here, the jump has been given in 2 different locations. Okay, 2 different locations. Goto is used inside main, and I'm telling the program control, go to the function. No, it is not possible. We cannot move between the different scopes. We should restrict it to the same scope. So now see this code. Let us first execute, then I'll explain. See, there is no error. We get the output. See how dangerous goto is. You cannot imagine how dangerous goto is. See this code. I've given a number num equal to 10. And I'm checking the condition 10 less than 5. So it is a false condition. Correct. But due to the nature of goto, it will totally ignore what you have, if, else, whatever, hardly matter. It will directly go to the statement written after the level. Even though my condition is false, till the body of the if get executed. That's why it is called goto is very dangerous. You'll confused what to do. In one side, if is saying condition fail, but you are saying giving me the output from the if. How it is possible? Because of goto. That's why Bayesian stuff tells that we can do anything with the goto. That's why we should restrict the use of goto. Okay, it's make the code not logical. Okay, nobody going to believe this kind of logic. 10 is less than 5. Who? This is a false statement, but still the body of the if get executed. How? Because of the goto. Because it is jumping to that particular location. That's why it should be restricted. Okay. So let's see the next point. Respect to the goto. Okay, it is saying that after a level, a statement is required after a level. Okay, let's see. In this particular line, we have what we are telling the program control go to level. So here is level, there is a level, fine, but there is no statement written after the level. So that's why, see the error here, error it is saying that level at end of compound statement. Okay, so it is inspecting that whatever the syntax that you have considered here, it is wrong. This is the point. After a level of go to, a statement is required. If you do not have any valid statement to execute, you need to put a semicolon at least. Semicolon at least. So let me show you this. Okay, so let's implement it here. Okay, so let's write here printf %d num, and after that I am writing the particular level, and I'm also putting the return statement in comment. So that means after level there is no statement as of now. So if I compile this code, there is an error. See the error, because after level there must be a valid statement. If you do not have any statement as of now, you can put a semicolon. Only a single semicolon can be used. It is considered as a null statement. See, no error. But nothing to execute after the level, no problem. Put a semicolon. If you have something to write after level, write it. If not, then don't worry, just put a semicolon. Even though if there is a return statement, so it will be also okay. Now I am just opening the return statement. It is a statement, correct? That's why semicolon is there, return 0 semicolon. Now run, there is no problem. Now see, no problem. Okay, so sometimes we feel that goto is very interesting. We can do anything without the loop. We can implement the iteration also, but it is very dangerous. I have shown you in the previous example that if condition is false, but still it is executing the body of the if because of the goto. Okay, so please subscribe my channel. Okay, you will get more such interesting videos in C programming in upcoming days. I'm going to design the Java course as well as C++ course, so that you can get all the benefit of that. So do not forget to subscribe my channel. Please share the link of this video with your friends if anybody is still is doing investing time for learning C programming or any particular language. Okay, so thank you very much. We also have a Facebook page. If you want to visit our Facebook page, this is the link you can follow. Let me show you here. Yeah, this is the link you can follow for the Facebook page, facebook.com/learncpp programming, okay, Facebook page. We can also visit our website where I'm just putting the tutorials also, a Google site. Okay, so please visit. Thank you very much.